I just want to say that as a reference librarian who also does martial arts, I'm really good at finding answers and being the answer. All right. And on that note, I actually have a question for y'all. Do you want a poem about the truth or a poem about telling the truth? Telling the truth? All right, you got it. We'll see. All right. This one's called Gods and Gaslights. We laid there, hand in hand, but it had been hours since we looked at each other. Did you sleep with her? No, I lied. It's the same lie I had been telling her and myself for weeks. She knew, and I knew she knew. But I needed this gaslight to see by. Everything was too dark without it. I found myself bumping into the hard corners of insecurity and self-loathing. Furniture I had placed here in our home that I could maneuver around for so long as I had this faulty, illuminating facade. Once stoked and lit, I hoped that she would see the light and choose its gross yellow glow, its milky, tarnished luminescence over the pitch black wall of truth. Still, she's no fool. She smelled smoke and my kerosene-drenched fingers long before my confession to arson. We let go of our hands and we did not go back to looking at each other. Whenever I think about whether it was worth it, my stomach clenches like a snuffed candle's last gasp. Oxygen leaves the room. How can you be a god when you're not even capable of being a man? Rays of truth like these burn, and it's a harsh light to learn by. Guilt casts a shadow on everything, and now I am vigilant to not be shady. This is what light looks like when you aren't dimming it and calling it bright. This next one is called Good Morning Officer. After sunset 9 and before sunrise 8, my hometown is neither home nor town. It's a long, boring drag that stretches and yawns and gets hot early. There's no shame in my walk, but after mile 3, there's a sluggish shuffle in my gait. The library sits squat in the middle of town. There's a squared stone bed around back where nothing but a stump sleeps while the staff door keeps watch with a single-eyed peephole. Aside from the hospital, this is the second place I ever knew after birth, and now, just like my mother, I work here. Across the street, the large fluorescent eyes of the bank's clock's face tells me that I'm early. And with no key in hand, I sit, lean my head against Alexandria and try to join the stump in slumber. Wham! My cheek transfers from squished sleeping support to a flung, flying, force-flattened disaster. Good morning, officer. What did I do wrong? I'll ask the questions here. Son? Yes, sir. What's your name? With one hand holding my neck in place, the back door now looking down at me shamefully, his other hand already in and out of my pocket wallet open. John, sir. Well, Johnny, been on any drugs today, Johnny? No. But did he somehow know that I had spent last night cuckolding one of his brothers in blue? Did he know how her black blanket of hair smelled of poppies and baby powder strong enough to make opium and cut cocaine? Did he know how I, not yet old enough to drink, got drunk off drinking her? Not asleep long enough for dream, only reverie. I feel my shoulder pop as my wrists are yanked behind me, cuffs clacked on. What are you doing out here, Johnny? Are you a runaway? 1 year older than it takes to be a runaway, and oh, how I want to run away, but instead I sit as still as a stump just outside Alexandria, only the second place I ever knew after birth, and wait for him, lost in thought and rewinding the night, passing the early morning shade of myself as I walk back to her through all 3 miles of memory to let me go. And I've committed no crime except perhaps a one of passion, which I've been told the court show leniency toward, though perhaps not a husband. And I can see from across the street the bank's green numbers roll over by 5s and 10s till, having run my ID, the officer returns, knowing everything about me, except maybe, I hope, that one thing, but refusing to tell me anything, like his name or badge number or why I had been detained. He lets me go, and still, I don't run away, but I return to my place on a stone bed beside a stump and go back to sleep with Alexandria.